The month of Halloween is upon us, and many of us are looking forward to the great holiday traditions of costumes, trick-or-treating, and of course an array of animated Halloween specials. Virtually all of our favorite animated series have either an episode or an entire special dedicated to celebrating Halloween. But I was wondering when the first Halloween cartoon appeared on our screens to kick off this beloved tradition. To answer this question, I had to go far back into the distant past. Not quite to the Stone Age, but close, the 1920s. A time of shadowy expressionism and distorted dreamscapes, when horror first found its voice in silence. Early silent-era animation frequently dabbled in horror tropes and supernatural gags, but Halloween as a specific theme was initially absent. Before the mid-1920s, many animated shorts from different studios featured various spooky elements such as ghosts and dancing skeletons, and while such cartoons provided eerie comedy, they were generic ghost stories without tying into the Halloween holiday. Animators used supernatural tropes for humor, but Halloween's iconography hadn't yet entered the animation mainstream, and Halloween itself was never mentioned. By the late 1920s, Halloween traditions in American popular culture had grown more prominent, and animators seized on this as fresh material, beginning in 1927 with Otto Mesmer's short entitled Switches Witches, part of the popular Felix the Cat series, released on October 2nd, and the first cartoon to be explicitly set on Halloween night. On a dark, moonlit night, Felix the Cat is in a festive mood and uses a jack-o'-lantern to scare his friends and plays pranks on everyone he comes across. Felix visits a fortune-telling owl who predicts romance in the cat's future and guides him to a supposed rendezvous in a basement of a spooky old house, where Felix encounters a witch who chases Felix throughout the next few scenes. In a whimsical twist, the pursuing witch is revealed to be Felix's sweetheart in a witch costume. And it's interesting to note the standardized appearance of the witch, complete with pointed hat, flying broomstick, and wart on her nose, generic features associated with Halloween costumes and almost all cartoon witches going forward. Switches Witches shows that by 1927, Halloween customs had become mainstream, and animators found them ripe for comedy. And in many ways, the short set the template for future animated Halloween episodes. Starting off as innocent, light-hearted fun, before suddenly taking a terrifying turn, before another twist returns everything to normal. In addition, trade reviewers at the time recognized its novelty, calling it a modern fairy tale with special appeal for Halloween, indicating to us almost 100 years later that a cartoon timed for the Halloween season was at that time still a very new concept. Halloween remained absent from animation for almost 4 years, but eventually other studios followed Felix's lead and ventured into Halloween-themed cartoons. In 1931, Charles Mintz's studio, with RKO Radio Pictures as its distributor, released a cartoon short entitled simply Halloween, using the traditional spelling of the holiday and starring the now obscure character Toby the Pup. This short was third to last of the Toby series and centers on a Halloween costume party hosted by Toby and which showcases typical festivities, decorations, dancing, and pranks, and then escalates into chaos as midnight strikes and actual spooks invade the party for no apparent reason. Perhaps they were summoned. The cartoon is the first to feature a Halloween party and throws a sprinkling of festive imagery on the screen. Decorated pumpkins, lanterns, and fancy dress, before a witch on a broomstick leads an invasion of skeletons and ghosts to terrorize the partygoers, and Toby must literally battle the supernatural by chasing the ghosts and even crowing like a rooster to scare them off. Interestingly, the short was long considered to be lost, like the majority of Toby the Pup cartoons, until a French print resurfaced, and the short has now thankfully been restored. The next, and one of the most famous examples of a golden age Halloween cartoon, came in 1933 with Fleischer Studios' Betty Boop's Halloween Party. And by this time, Fleischer Studios' mastery of sound and music in their animation enhanced this spooky experience. The short opens on a frosty All Hallows Eve, with Jack Frost covering the fields with frost and sending a chill through the night. A living scarecrow plucks a wind-blown piece of paper out of the air. It's an invitation to Betty Boop's Halloween Party. Jack-o'-lanterns and black cat decorations abound at Betty's house, where she is throwing a Halloween party for friends. The party is in full swing until a menacing gorilla decides to crash it. The gorilla wreaks havoc, and before he manages to pounce on Betty, the lights go out and a host of ghosts, goblins, and demons begin attacking the unwelcome brute. Even the painted decorations of witches on the walls come to life and throw pumpkins at the bully. A black cat in the background turns the lights on and off again, each time causing more supernatural forces to appear until the gorilla is driven out of the house, while the cat is revealed to be Betty Boop herself. Betty Boop's Halloween Party was released in early November 1933, and by the third Halloween cartoon we can see the theme escalating, as Betty Boop's Halloween Party features an array of Halloween iconography. A party at a house adorned with Halloween decorations, jack-o'-lanterns galore, Halloween costumes, even apple bobbing games are held. Notably, the short also reflects a mix of spooky and comedic. The scarecrows dance and the ghostly helpers are eerie yet jovial, in line with Fleischer Studios' style at the time of spooky and surreal comedy. Within a decade, the idea of a Halloween cartoon became firmly established, and by the 1950s, characters like Disney's Donald Duck and others would explicitly feature elements like fancy dress, trick-or-treating, and various homages to the horror genre in observation of the spooky season. But those later works built on the foundation laid by Felix the Cat and that one crazy Halloween night all the way back in 1927. That's it for today, folks. Just a quick history on the origins of a great cartoon tradition of showcasing Halloween episodes and specials in time for All Hallows' Eve. Please like this video if you learned something today, and let us know down in the comments what are some of your all-time favorites that you feel should be considered animated Halloween classics, or maybe some more obscure Halloween cartoons that you feel more people should be aware of. I have some more videos in the pipeline in time for Halloween this year, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell notification because you don't want to miss the next video. Until then, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more cartoon history.